Good morning, Patreon. C. Michael Martell asked a question basically of saying, how do we plan to bug out from the heart of New York City without any forewarning? 300 miles through the zombies. You know my first answer. I have two wildly popular YouTube videos. The first is called How to Avoid FEMA Camps. The answer to which is, don't go there. The second video is called Dealing with Martial Law. The answer to which is, don't be where the martial law is. So brother, in all love, I would say, don't be in freaking New York City. Now, this will be the second video this morning where I have chastised New York, but I feel strongly enough about it to go there again, seeing as how I was born and raised in upstate New York. If you can't carry a 12-round pistol magazine without being a felon, but it is perfectly legal to kill a newborn child in your state, why the mother F do you live there? And I get a lot of answers to questions like that. And this is not the topic of conversation, but I just got it because the Spirit's on me. I get a lot of answers to questions like that because my kids are here. I have an answer, not necessarily the answer that most people want to hear to that. The first is, it's a damn travesty when we get the state involved in custody. So as much as we can, that should be avoided. And I realize that's pretty idealistic, but as much as we can, that should be avoided. The second is that you're the leader. You're the man. That's all I'm going to say. You're the leader. You're the man. And that's not taking anything away from women. There's lots of really strong women out there, but at the end of an age, us men will stand in judgment for how we led our families. We are biblically responsible. We are the leaders, the priests of our home. We are commanded to raise our children up in the way that they should go so that they will not depart from it when they are older. We are commanded to instruct our sons. We are held accountable. We are the leaders. And we oftentimes need to act like it. And it's a damn shame that the courts, most of the time, will stymie that at every turn. But I digress. If I was in New York City, which I would not be. By the way, if you are in a state that does not allow me to carry a weapon on my hip at all times, even though we love you, Prosperity will not do business with you. At least not in person. We cannot, will not come see you. It's unfortunate, but we cannot, will not come see you. Because I refuse to be disarmed because of some liberal bureaucrat somewhere. But if I was in New York City, which I would not be, but if I was there and I had to bug out immediately, it would behoove me right now to have a bug out plan. The bug out plan is predicated on a bug out location. If you don't know where you're going, you don't have a plan. You just have hopes, and hopes will get you killed under stress. So I would have a bug out location, and then the bug out plan would be built around getting me there as quickly as possible. You need early warning. So I'm going to outright reject the idea that we're going to leave the city in a wave of zombies without early warning. I'm going to give you no better odds than a coin toss if you don't. Especially with kids. One of the last things on earth I would want to do is bug out from the heart of New York City with my children on foot in the waves of zombies for 300 miles. Frankly, I would keep cyanide capsules in my bug out bag. There's enough despicable evil in that area right now in rule of law. I would not be there and without rule of law. You need early warning. You need to leave. You need to have false starts all the time. All the time. Constantly. What's bad for the children? Don't care. You know what's bad for the children? Dying. That's bad for the kids. I would have a bug out location and a bug out plan, and then, you know, it comes back to bug out bags, as if bug out bags are these, you know, literal messiah that we carry around on our backs that are going to save us when things get hard. They're like our Batman utility belts. And it doesn't mean that you don't have them, but I think so many preppers put so much false hope in their bug out bag. It's like, this is just a capabilities kit. That's all it is. I mean, and from my perspective, with my experience, it's a capabilities kit. It's the tools that allow you to do the things that you should already know how to do. So like, I don't get wrapped around the axles with a bug out bag. I call mine my rucksack, because that's what it is. It's a rucksack. And the contents of it change based upon my mission profile. What am I going to do? There is no one bag to rule them all, and that's one of the things that most preppers get entirely wrong. That's how you end up with people who have 97-pound inch bags. Literally 97-pound inch bags. Doesn't work that way. So if you don't fully understand what you're trying to do right now, which is get 300 miles outside of New York City with children with no advance warning, a goal without a timeline and a budget is just a dream. In the same way, all you have are hopes. You don't have a plan. So I would have that thing solid. Solid, solid, solid. Mass transit was likely going to be a mess. It's a mess on some days in New York City during rule of law. Bridges and tunnels. Transit Authority, along with DHS, is going to shut those suckers down. Oh, well, we'll just get a boat. Will ya? You're not getting across the Hudson. Saw that during 9/11. If there's a real emergency, man, you're not going anyway. Your bug out has just turned into shelter in place, but now you're away from even your house because you started bugging out. So now you're in the middle of wherever. I don't know what your location is. Trying to get out. Maybe on foot, maybe not. Get out to where? Fort Lee, New Jersey? The sanctuary of Fort Lee, New Jersey? And then on into eastern Pennsylvania? We, as a general rule for people on the East Coast, do not recommend that people buy land anywhere further east than western Pennsylvania. And I'm not saying this because I want to pee in your Cheerios. I think it's good that you are working on a plan to get your kids out of central New York City. But my job is to speak truth to you. You really need to be on your A game, and you really need early warning. You have got to leave early. You've got to make the air quote mistake of leaving too soon often. I think that's the only way you get your success rate above a probability of a coin toss. Weapons. What kind of weapons can you legally carry in New York City? 0. The first guy who produces an old snub-nosed .32 revolver rules the world. And I know that there's, there's lots of people who have lots of weapons in New York that they're not supposed to have. But the density of those weapons throughout the population is exceedingly low compared to other areas of the country. Like right here, we have 3 weapons per person on the homestead, including the toddler. It's a big difference. So, navigation. You got maps. Do you know where you're going? Have you put together your bug out plan, like I said? Commo. Forget it. It's gonna be a nightmare. I don't love this idea at all. At all. You gotta leave early. I think I foot stomped that point a few times, but you have got to leave early. I don't know what else to tell you other than you gotta leave early. New York City is the epitome of horrendous population density. If you don't have early warning, you're done for, says me. Therefore, you need lots of false starts. Save up your vacation time. I advocate this repeatedly. Save up your vacation time. Always have a week of vacation time ready to go. And if something you need to bug out right now, call your boss, call your supervisor, call the kids' school, whatever. Family emergency, we gotta go. What's the family emergency? Okay, so that gives you standoff capability in between you and your boss, you and the school, whatever. None of your business is basically what you're saying. It's a family emergency. We gotta go. And then go. And if you're wrong, come back a week later. No big deal. If you're right, you're not dead in the center of New York City, lying in a pool of your own blood. I dislike New York City infinitely more than that rooster, and I'm no fan of his. Yeah, that's what I got. Leave early, leave often. If you do not, you are putting yourself at an entirely undue risk. And I'm positive there are extenuating circumstances. And I get it. But because of those extenuating circumstances, you have to take all of the personal responsibility, and you need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Because if you do not, you are just one of millions in a wave of humanity. And that's not a chance that I'm willing to take with my kids. Shalom.